Hey, Diane.
Hi there. How are you?
Good. I want to thank you for saying yes to sharing ever so briefly. We only have like 5 minutes a person, but um, just where were you? Was it, how long has it been that you've been in Bold Heart? Like a
Just
couple,
over a year.
just
Yeah,
over a year. It's amazing what you've created. So, what was your situation like just a little over a year ago? What was not working? What made you realize, like, I can't keep going this way?
sure. Well, thank you for inviting me on here. The only reason why I get to even be highlighted is because of all that you've done to help support me in this community, for sure. So, a year ago, I was pretty rock bottom. I had been in business for 8 years at that point, and things were going along swimmingly until they weren't. And right then, I'd been about maybe 5 or 6 months, maybe a little longer than that, of just absolutely sleepless nights, worrying if I could make payroll. It was just such an abrupt change from what it had been, and I'm very passionate about my team, and I want the best for them. I feel like it's my job to take care of them. And so when I came to you, it was out of pure desperation. And yeah, I wasn't sleeping. I was frustrated and worried. And I had to put in our family money to keep the business afloat. And I just didn't know what to do differently. I didn't know what had gone wrong. So what felt like so quickly. But in hindsight, it probably wasn't that quickly.
Yeah. So, I just almost want to just say, what's happened to you in just a little more than a year? Are you willing to share and inspire
I
people here?
Sure, I'd love to. No more sleepless nights, for sure. Things have completely turned around. I had six full-time employees at the time, and some contract people as well. But we completely reorganized the business structure. We tore it apart and started all over again. And Ooh, it was so great because I just knew that what we were doing wasn't right. It wasn't working, I should say. And so now we are completely profitable. We were doing about 480,000 with six people full time and our contract team members. And we are now three full time and everyone else is on contract. We've done over 600 last year. We are going to be over 1 million this year. And so half the team, more money. But I'm sleeping. I'm excited. I'm thrilled to work every single day. Gosh, it's just fun again. It's fun, and I actually get to do CEO work and not all the other stuff that I just don't love.
Yeah. So, in like 1 year, you went from four and change to 600. And in the second year in Bold Heart, you're going to be at 1 million.
I will be at 1 million this year. Yeah, we'll be at.
Wow. What is it that you did differently? And then what was it about being supported in Bold Heart that helped you do that?
Sure. So as I mentioned, we restructured the team and went down to fewer full-time and more contract team members. And that was really in an effort to better serve our clients, to be honest with you. So what did we do differently was we restructured that. We started building out systems. We started having things that could be replicated. I started being able to hand over work to more competent people in those areas. And we really built a support team out in a very structured and strategic way. And really, the things that cause that, I will say the monthly activators are gold for me. I very much live in my masculine, so I like structure. I've learned from the Bowleys a lot more feminine. I cry almost all the time, although I'm not a crier, but I love it because it's so helpful to process and to think. So the activators have been gold. I actually wrote a book that will be released at the end of May, finally. It's just
How
got a
long did it take you to write that book?
oh,
I presume you're following the Bold Heart process
oh,
for
of course. I went through
writing.
my activator and I worked on it with you and I wrote it in like no time. And that's why we have a deadline. It's all out there because now I just really need the publishing part of it and it'll be done. It'll be done. So it took me, I don't know, maybe 3 months to fully write it and to be thrilled about it. And now I've just got to do the publishing kind of thing that I've been dragging my feet on. So in that activators, I've learned systems and structures. I have learned really important components of my business. But the biggest shift, Fabienne, has been the mindset work.
Yeah, tell me about that. Tell us
Oh
about that.
gosh. Okay, so really being able to step back and get out of that anxiety that I was feeling around everything that was going. I was holding everything so tightly because I was afraid it was just going to fall apart. And I'd worked too hard and too long for it just to fall apart in front of me. Um, and so I needed to be able to be in a space with other business owners that I felt like I could ask the questions. And quite honestly, in the beginning, I didn't. I just listened.
Yeah,
Um, I'm an introvert. And so I needed to hear everybody else and what was going on, even if it didn't pertain to what I was doing. I needed to hear how we talked within Bold Heart.
yeah.
So the mindset work has been, I have mantras everywhere now. I literally, things that you have said over time. I actually have a new one now because I just scribbled it down as you were saying it, but they're on my screensavers. I have another screen over here. They're on little notes all around my office. But there are three that I am really sticking to that are really important to me. That's the one I just held up and it's also over here, is that everything is always working out for me. I, Fabienne, when you gave that to me, that just lit my world on fire. Like, I'm like, why in the world would I not think that everything is going to work out for me? Of course, everything is going to work out for me. It might take me a little bit of a different path, but eventually I'm going to get there and everything is going to work out. And so I was able to kind of release all of the tight holding that I was having. And, as we know, like money can't flow in or flow out if your hands are in fists.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah,
definitely.
the mindset work's been huge.
Well,
And
tell
it's
me
been
about,
daunting.
do you still feel like before jumping in and being with us, you felt in isolation, you questioned yourself, right? And isolation is self-doubt.
Yes.
How has it been to be with me every week? Me coaching you if you want to, every week you drop in, and to be with your pod, your monthly mastermind pod, and this community. How has that made a difference in your life where before you were isolated?
Yeah. I was craving some type of community around how to make this happen and make this work. But to be honest with you, I was scared to death of the format. When Val, who's in here, my friend Val, told me about this, and I started finding out a little bit more, I was like, I need this, and I have to do this, and I have to find the money. I didn't have it, but I have to figure this out. That'll figure itself out. That was an okay leap of faith for me. But the fact that I was going to have to, quote unquote, be with everyone on a regular basis, and I was going, I mean, my business is falling apart, and I'm going to try and find time in my schedule to be with everybody and to go on Q and A's and to do these, I mean, 3 days of mindset work. Who has time to do that?
Right,
Right?
right.
Um, when I took that leap of faith and started doing that, I was like, oh, this is gold. Like I'm an introvert. I don't want you to ask me all the questions. And yet I am, quote unquote, I'm going to keep using my quotes, forced. I'm not forced. These opportunities are given to me to be able to interact with people in these really great ways every single week. So I try to never miss Q and A's. I mean, I was on Q and A's when my mom was having open heart surgery, and I'm like streaming from the hotel or the hotel. I felt like a hotel at that time.
Hospital. Yeah.
Hospital room, because I didn't want to miss out on, amazing things that were happening. And yet, there was a lot of time I was just sitting and waiting there. And so, um, yeah, being in community is huge because everyone comes with where they are, and we all are at different places at any given time. And yet we all still learn something from each other in those moments.
Do you it's only been a year since it was like, "Oh my god, what do I have on my hands?" And now, only just a year later, you're announcing that you're gonna be at 1,000,000 and that you can sleep at night, and you've got this amazing community. Would you have believed that this was going to be true a year later? And would you have believed in yourself so much had you not stumbled upon us?
I wouldn't be here if I hadn't stumbled upon you, if Val hadn't mentioned you, and because she was
Thanks,
tired of listening to
Val.
complain. It wouldn't, no way would I be here. That I wouldn't have known. I knew something needed to change, but I had this deep stirring in my soul that I needed someone or someones. I needed to know what to do. I've tried some mentors before, and there just was no structure. There was not there was nowhere to go with it. It did feel like a waste of time. So no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here without this group, without you, Fabienne. That's just, and would I believe it? No, but I certainly was hoping for it with all of my hope. Like I was willing to step out because I do believe everything's always working out for me. When you
Yeah.
said it, like it's just so true.
Congratulations, Diane. And I just want to just underline that um, everything great always happens outside of your comfort zone. So to have you say like, "Oh, it's not comfortable for me to have all this stuff to go to," or maybe the price point was like, the tuition was like, "Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna make this happen," but you went outside of your comfort zone, and I think you really inspired, um, us today by what's possible in such a short period of time when you plant yourself in the right soil, and so this is just year 1. Friends, let's just check in with Diane in like 1 year and
Give me
see
one
where
more year. Give me
1
one
more
more year.
year. Thanks, Diane.
Thank you, Fabienne.
Celebrate her.